You head out for a Parks on the Air activation. You get everything all set up and you find out you have no cell phone service. The trees don't have Wi-Fi and you didn't get around to ordering that Starlink setup. How are you going to go ahead and spot yourself? Maybe you're into overlanding and you're heading out into the deep woods or your deep terrain. Again, no cell phone, no Wi-Fi, no Starlink. How are you going to keep in touch with family and friends? Or maybe worse, there's an emergency and major internet hub is down and you have no means of using the internet at home to get out and contact family, friends, and such. Well, we're amateur radio operators and we have a solution for that. It's called WinLink, and we're going to go over it next on AA3K On The Go. Way back at the end of 2020, there was an explosion at a major AT&T switching center in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, that cut out service to a good chunk of Tennessee, including the states above and below it. KM4ACK showed us how he used WinLink to keep in touch with family and friends, to send out email. And I said to myself, I better get myself running on WinLink just so I have it as another tool for emergency communications. So I got myself set up with it, and my first tests were with my FT817 and my laptop computer, and I was able to send and receive email. Nothing fancy. Somewhere around that time, somebody also published a method of sending an email to a specific email address and spotting yourself. That would go into the Parks on the Air spotting page where you didn't directly need an internet connection. So that's also very handy to use, and I gave that a shot. Well, let's fast forward to 2025 and I bought a new laptop computer. So I went ahead and installed WinLink on it and I practiced spotting myself. Parks on the Air fortunately has a special code for a test spot. So let me run over how I installed WinLink on my new laptop. And I was traveling at the time and I knew I would have some downtime, so I took my old laptop and my new laptop with me, and I was doing a lot of work installing all the programs from my old laptop onto the new one. So I'm going to be switching to me doing this in a hotel room. And then I'll give you an example of using WinLink with my Icom IC-7300 and contacting and exchanging emails from my cell phone, as well as spotting myself and clearing out the spot on the Parks on the Air website. So let's hit that next. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is install WinLink, and then we'll install the Vara HF modem. And we can get both sets of programs from winlink.org. And once you go to their webpage, just here in the top menu bar, click on Download. You'll see three options. First is SysOp Programs, which has the various programs for setting up a WinLink mail server, which I'm not going to concern myself here about them. The user programs for WinLink and the Vara products, which includes the HF modem. So we'll go into the user programs and we will click on the WinLink Express install and click that, and it'll want to download it. And this is, as of this recording, this is the latest version 1.7.27, and we'll just save the zip file to my downloads directory. Going back up, we'll then go into the Vara products, and I'm just going to download the Vara HF. I already have a license for that and it works well. I have not done anything with Vara FM. So once again, click, and that will do that download. And we can click in the downloads directory here, and the Vara HF link is finished, and the WinLink Express. So once we have those two, we can actually go to the directory, which I already have open here. And as you notice, they are zip files. So one nice advantage of Windows 11 File Explorer is they can open up multiple tabs within it. So I already have a directory called temporary, and we have some drivers that we were installing for my 7300, and I'm going to go here
open this up. Control-C the Vara setup and just drop that into the temporary directory. Go back up, open up the WinLink Express install, Control-C, and paste that into my temporary directory. And click on the WinLink Express install. As the program is not signed by Microsoft, you do get the Windows Protected Your PC. If you go into More Info, you'll get the Run Anyway button, and then you can start running the WinLink installer. And it's a normal Windows install package. Once it does its necessary unpacking here, it'll come up. You want to allow the program to install, go ahead and click Yes. Asks you where you want to install it. If you want to create a desktop shortcut, and verify your install location, which is not under Program Files, it is under RMS Express. Is confirming you want the desktop shortcut, and then you can click the install button. As I already have this installed, I'm not going to run this a second time and cause a problem with my current installation. And because I am jumping out here. And then similar with the Vara HF setup, and it does say run as administrator, so I'm going to right click on it, click run as administrator. Again, you get a Windows Protected Your PC. Click the additional information, hit run anyway. It'll give you another, do you want to allow the program to make changes? Go ahead and hit yes. And it runs you through a similar install package, accept the license agreement. Next, where you want to install it, create a desktop icon. I suggest yes. Hit next again, and again it'll give you confirmation of that information. As I already have Vara installed, I'm not going to ask to do it a second time. I'm just going to cancel here, but you would hit install. Now you've got a good chunk of the work done. As you can see, I have the WinLink Express here. I'm going to just click that because I canceled out of it. I did not get that before. All right, once you have WinLink Express and Vara installed, just need to do a little bit of setup and they will be ready to connect to your radio and transmit and receive email via the HF bands, or VHF UHF bands if you want to use the Vara FM protocol. So first we're going to open WinLink Express, make it bigger just so it's easy to see, and I have it set up already, but I'll take you through the steps necessary. Go to Settings, WinLink Express Setup, and here you will enter your call sign that you want to use, and you can use multiple call signs if you're in a tactical situation or multiple people are using the same account here. I'm just going to assume, and for my case, only one person is using this. If you already have a WinLink account, enter the password there. Otherwise, make up a password for a new one. If you need a call sign suffix used for country code, place that there. If you already have a password set, you can change it using that. If this is a new account in particular, enter a password recovery email. The only way you can find out what your WinLink password is, if you forget it, is to click Request Password to be sent to recovery email, and the WinLink servers will email you a copy of your password. So make sure that is a valid email address there. And you can enter your grid square. If you have the WinLink Express registration key, you can enter it there. For now, leave your service codes as public. If you need to use this in an emergency communications situation or at an EOC or something like that, you can use different service codes to divide up the email. If this is the first time you are setting up a WinLink account, enter your name, address, other information as you see fit here. Failing, if you already have an account, this should be pre-populated off the servers once you enter your password here. Now, every now and then when you bring up WinLink, you'll find there's been an update to the various automated forms that WinLink can fill out for you and send on. And it'll just ask you if you want to update it. It'll contact the servers via your internet connection and download and update everything. Similarly, if there's an update to the WinLink program, you'll also see a request there, and you can just click on that and go ahead and do the update. Once that's done, close WinLink and then open up Vara. Once in Vara, hit Settings, Vara Setup, and it'll bring you to its setup screen. Leave the TCP ports unchanged for command and data. If you have a Vara license, go ahead and enter it here along with the registration key. Your call sign is tied to that particular key. And registering Vara helps the developer continue improving the program and providing support for it. Just leave the Allow Vara Check for Updates via Internet selected, and leave all the other items unchanged and retries at 15. And now we're ready to connect the 7300 to this computer and exchange some email over HF through WinLink.
Okay, now that we have WinLink installed, I've set up everything and connected my computer to my Icom 7300. I've set up an end-fed half-wave here in my backyard. And as this is the first time I am connecting this computer to the radio, I did make sure I downloaded and installed the necessary driver for the 7300, and I will leave a link to that in the description of this video. So, I've installed WinLink Express and Vara, as you have seen. I have not installed Vara FM. I did have that on the previous computer, but I've never used it. So let's fire WinLink Express, and just to make things easier for yourself, just make it as full screen. And you can use Telnet, so just an internet connection to get to the WinLink servers and download and send email, and quite a few other modes of operation. But what you want is Vara HF WinLink. So you select that in the drop down, and if it's already selected, you can just hit Open Session and it will fire up Vara for you. Now, when you start Vara, it may... Oh, looks like it didn't start it. I'll hit the Open Session. There we go. It may ask you that it needs to update the propagation estimates for the channels. I'm going to say go ahead and update it. And we'll fast forward through this section. So this takes about a minute or two by the time everything is downloaded. Now, after we have done that, once I find where the mouses went, you can go into the Vara TNC setup and basically just leave all these settings the same. And the actual modem will be found in the Vara directory and such. So, not changed anything here, so I'm going to cancel out of it. And now I'm going to go back to Settings, Radio Setup. So this is where we tell Vara and WinLink Express what kind of radio you're connected to. In my case, I'm connected to an Icom 7300. We'll use USB digital, as this is a digital. We'll use the radio's internal sound card. And we're going to be using COM3, which is the current serial port that the radio is connected to the computer with. And I usually use 38.4 kilobaud to do my operation. Serial port to use again for the Icom 7300, PTT optional, we're not using that. And we don't need to worry about logging any radio commands to the RMS Express log. Now, the default Icom address for 7300 is 94. I do know some people like to, if they have an Icom 705, they set either the 7300 to the 705 address, or vice versa. They set the 705 to 94 so they can bounce back and forth between the two radios since the command sets are virtually identical between the two. So right now I have it set to 94. I'm going to hit update, and the program does a little restart, and we should be good to try to collect my email. Now I sent a test email to myself from my cell phone to my 883k@winlink.org. So we're going to do a channel selection, and it's going to show you what your path reliability estimates and path quality estimates are, your best possible choices for making contact here. And we're going to try for about 20 meters. So let's go down the list here. And we've got 14108. Actually, the things are in the 7 megahertz 40 meter band. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. And we'll just try this 7. That might be the one I'm already on here. Let's go ahead and just try the 7106 here. So just click it. It's going to set the frequency. The dial frequency is 7105, and that's what it is showing on the 7300. Let's say the quality is only 53, so we're now going to try to do a auto connect. And I'll turn up the volume here. Nope, we are not going to do an auto connect. Stop. I'm going to go back to the channel selection. I'm going to select this one. And if you do auto connect, the Vara will automatically sequence through the choices in the channel selection from the best all the way down. So make sure if you're doing that, make sure you have an antenna that can handle all of those frequencies, all of those bands. Okay, with Vara HF WinLink selected, hit open session. And if you go down to your taskbar, it will have automatically opened up the Vara modem. So you do not need to open up Vara or Vara VHF on its own. It will be opened up from the WinLink session. So do go to the sound card and make sure that it is correct for your setup. In this case, the USB audio codec for the microphone and the speakers that are built into the 7300. Now I've got my drive level set in the middle, which gives me about 1/3 ALC on the meter display of the 7300. That will probably vary based upon what radio you are using and what interface to the radio you are using. So go ahead and close that display. We're going to come here. Now I've already sent myself an email from my cell phone, but one of the primary things I wanted to show you was how to do a Parks on the Air spot from WinLink, or really any email program if you have no cell phone access. I will put all these details in the description as well as what you're going to be seeing on the screen here. So you go to message, hit new message, and you want to send the message to POTAGW, that would be POTA Gateway, at outlook.com. Now, all the information that you need to send for a Parks on the Air spot is done in the subject of the message. So we put SPOT AA3K, and in this case I'm going to be using the test park, which is K-test. I actually don't know if they've changed that to US-test. We'll try both ways. The frequency I'm operating on, so we're just going to put in kilohertz, so we're going to put 7250, and we're going to say SSB, and testing, spotting, via WinLink as the comment. Backspace T. There we go. And so once we've entered all that, we now hit Post to Outbox. And if you see here, we have one message in our Outbox folder. And if we go to it, we say there's the spot message. So now we're going to go ahead and we say open a session. Hit the channel selection and try to find we'll choose this guy, double click. I'm just going to now hit start. The radio has been set to the frequency 7.103.2 megahertz. And turn up the volume here so you can hear it. And we are connected to N2MEL-11. And the handshake is in progress. And I got a whole bunch of geese flying overhead, as you hopefully have just heard. And now the process of exchanging the message goes on. Now this could take a little while even for very short text messages. And we are done. So if we go to the inbox, we'll see I have a test message from my cell phone. And I just sent an email to myself. Of course, managed to hit the space bar instead of the N. That happens far too often. And now let's go to the POTA web page. As you can see, I'm still getting this new computer configured. And if I do a quick search, hopefully I will see my call sign. There we go. K-Test, Test Park from AA3K. So I spotted myself here. And there we go. This is how you can have email in the field with no cell phone. Also handy if you're in an emergency situation, such as when the AT&T Center in Central Tennessee was damaged by an explosion, knocking out cell phone service, internet service, even plain old telephone service to a large swath of Tennessee, even some of the north and south adjoining states, for at a very minimum 3 days, and I think it was over a week before all service was restored. Okay. Now we're going to write another email and give myself a QRT here. So we're going to go once again, POTA GW at outlook.com. Spot AA3K K-Test. Give the frequency that I used before, and now we're just going to say as SSD, and we're now going to say QRT as the comment. Post it to. One other thing you can do to see what spots are available is, again, you can actually click there for a new message, again to POTA GW at outlook.com, and in the subject line now just say view spots. Once again, post to the outbox, and let's go ahead and once again open another Vara session and tell it to start. And as you can hear, messages, the I should say the station is being connected to, and now the messages are being exchanged. And I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch the whole drawn out exchange of the two email messages. But we will have to do another connection and pull back the view spots if they don't come in immediately after sending the email message here. And I didn't realize this, but once you spot yourself successfully, you will get an email back indicating that the spot from AA3K, the K test in this case, on that frequency as SSB, was spotted successfully. And now that we sent out a QRT message, let's go and check the spot page. Once again, try to find myself, and there we are, QRT, and we're shut down. Now, we also did the view spots, so somebody else right now is using the channel here, so we'll let them finish, and then we'll do another WinLink session and try to pull back the spots and see who was out there via WinLink as opposed to the internet. Okay, once again, we open the session. We're going to use the same M3MEL. And we're connecting. And once again, we're going to speed this up. Now this is a very large message with all the current spots, 2,961 bytes. But we seem to be really pulling the data in. So that's the one advantage to registering for Vara, and you can get the high-speed modem. And here we have a list of the POTA spots. So if you're really into POTS on the air and you're out in the field with no cell phone coverage, no internet connection, no tree that does Wi-Fi, you can still find out who's out there and work them. And there we have it. You know, installing WinLink and the Vara modems is not that difficult. I do suggest you buy a license for the Vara at least HF modem, because it will run in a higher speed mode and transfer data faster. As of me recording this in October 2025, I have not yet contributed to the WinLink development, but that's going to happen pretty soon. I just have to get around to it and send it in. You know, the advantage to being able to send email when you don't have a cell phone connection, really handy. You know, whether you're in amateur radio, emergency communications, or you're just into overlanding, have your laptop and your amateur radio equipment with me. Now, you do need an amateur radio license, and really at a minimum, the general class license. The technician, the basic amateur radio license is not that hard to get if you have a modicum of a technical background, but it's really not that difficult. Basic electronics and electrical theory and basic rules and regulations. General class license is a little bit more difficult, but not that hard. Anybody can do it if you just sit down and study. But we'll cover that maybe in another video. So, why don't you go ahead and put any comments if you're trying out WinLink or using it down in the comments below. I'll include some links in the description to help you find everything on the internet here, particularly the drivers for the 7300 for Win11, which is now becoming the standard for Windows. Hey, thanks for watching. Catch you the next time. This is Mark, AA3K. I'm working to help you make the outdoors your ham shack. 73.